I guess we'll have to be honest here. It's Sunday, September 19th, and we are not at Rocky Mountain Race Week. It just came down to time. We ran out of it. It wasn't for lack of effort. It's a lot to put a whole new car together. We are still working on it. We're going to try and make some races the end of October. But the final detail stuff is just taking a lot longer than we thought. We're getting there. We only have a little bit more fab to do on the rear. It just needs a puke tank and the rear tin, which I'm working on right now. But yeah, I had COVID at the beginning of the month, so that took away 2 weekends and about a week and a half of being out in the shop. So just ran out of time. We might have been able to make it, but I really wasn't trying to rush stuff. Mistakes can happen when you rush it, and I would just hate to build this car and then put it in the wall, or make a stupid mistake where, cook the motor, throw rods out and damage the tram, do something stupid like that. So I was just it's just better off we waited and didn't try and push it. But like I said, we probably could have made it, but it was just not gonna. It was gonna be a lot of stressful nights, and we're already working more hours than usual, trying to catch up on our backlog. So it just came down to me and Mark running out of time. And I know Mark he drives about an hour each way. So if he stays here, till 9 or 10, he's got an hour drive home. So we kind of determined that we're just going to shoot for end of October races. There's a few that I have on the schedule, so kind of depend on a few things. We still have to get it wired, which hopefully won't take long. So it's getting there, but it sucks that we missed it. I was really looking forward to it. So the plan for next year, obviously we'll definitely have it done for next year. And we'll be out racing early because the car's almost done now. So if we get out, might make a few trips down south. I know we kind of talked about going down to Florida. It is a drive, but it would be fun to go down there and test. So we'll have to see on that. But I think the goal next year is to run Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 and then do Drag Week. That's kind of the two options we're going for now. I like Rocky Mountain Race Week, but I'd like to do both events. And so we kind of determined that we're going to run quarter mile. I already sold the wheels that we had from MacFab, those welds. So those are sold. I do have another set coming from MacFab again. Their set of Sanders 15 by 13s. So we're just going to run our local 8th mile until Rocky Mountain Race Week, and then we will get a second, third member with a different gear set, and we will throw that in and run quarter mile. So I haven't ran quarter mile in a long time. This car's gonna be a lot quicker, so that'll take some getting used to. But I just the wheel situation, I couldn't see myself. Couldn't see us spending $2,300 on wheels just to use once a year. So we just decided to do quarter mile. Might do more quarter mile even at like Gateway and stuff, which opens up the doors for a lot more events, not just 8th mile. So that's probably for the best. So even though it sucks, it made us realize that we need to slow down on this, take our time, and get it done the right way instead of rushing and then have all kinds of issues. So, and this car is going to be a big learning curve. I've actually never tuned on Holly. The ECU Master PMU is a whole nother learning curve also. I've never had dump valves on a car. I've never had a bolt-together torque converter. And I've never had a car this light or 4-link. So there's a lot of things that are all new to me. So it's probably for the best that we missed it, even though it sucks. I know our buddy Doug's down there, and he's sending pictures and stuff, and it sucks. So every time drag week pops up from when I did it in 2016, every year it pops up on my Facebook, and it sucks. So one of these days we'll make it there. But right now I am working on the rear 10. So let me take you guys over there. So I'm working on getting the rear 10. I have this side set up. Laying this out is kind of difficult, figuring out where you need the bends, but I think a bend from there down to there that'll work how I want it. So I'm just kind of laying these out. I think I'm gonna make like a filler strip panel thing here, cut it out of tin, and then bolt it. This is bolted so we can take the rear bumper off. But other than that, it's we got the exhaust material. Mark made the mount for the fire system up underneath there. So that's a piece of carbon. I'd like to get that rear 10 done today and then knock out the exhaust maybe tonight. I don't know how long that's going to take. That'll take a minute. But other than that, that's about all I'm going to tackle today. Like I said, we're going to shoot for a couple events pretty soon. We have pretty much the only thing I have to order is the windows. That's the only thing I'm waiting on, and kind of just waiting on that because they're pretty much order and they'll show up that week. So just kind of, I don't know, maybe procrastination is the better word for that. But I'm going to wait till we get it wired so it's easy to work on and take stuff in and out. So, but yeah, I'm gonna tackle that, and you guys can probably follow along my thought process of laying out that rear scallop strip. So a little under the car talk about scallop strips. I've been out here for I think that time lapse I just did was like 2.5 hours. I got just that done and just welded up. So figuring the angles out here, it's a little easier because we have carbon, and it's like 040 carbon, so it does take a shape. You can actually heat it up and bend it, so that's what I'm probably going to do. As you guys saw, I have a template, but getting it to fit this, and because you have this angle here running this way, you have the tub angle, and you have this angle, and then this one that has to land with this one, so it's a lot of angles to deal with. I know I'm just not a fan, so sometimes people will come down with these tubs and land like down here, so it'd be level, but I'm just not a fan of that look. I like where it tapers down. So it shouldn't be too bad. Hoping I can get it fit with the template I made here. So I'm going to start with that. Probably going to jump off of this and put the shifter in so Mark can mount the drive shaft tunnel tin. That way we can rock on that. So I'm going to put the base of the seat in and then put the shifter in where I want it. Just because I have to sit in there so it feels comfortable. That way we can get a lot of the shifter stuff done, mount the CO2 bottle and all that. So after this tin is done back here, or not tin, carbon is done back here, it's getting torn back apart and then it's getting painted. So hopefully next weekend we can rock and roll with some paint and hopefully put it back together and have a race car. So I thought I'd show you guys a little tech tip for doing some carbon work. So this is carbon fiber, but it's still wrapped up. You can put a bend on it. So this probably has a, 20-degree bend, and it's really not bent that bad. all I do. So I come over here, I stick it in here where I need it to bend. And this one, I put 2 on here because I want this to be more of a radius. If you bend 2 lines like this, you'll get a curve here. So that's what I'm looking for. So all I do, I don't lock it down all the way just so it's not crushing the carbon. And then I get my torch, and all I do is just run it back and forth on here. It's a little tedious, I guess, to not burn the carbon or melt the resin so much that it shows. Usually it gets this white line, which isn't really the carbon breaking, it's just the resin. I don't really know what creates that, but that's kind of my gauge, just how much heat I'm putting into it. So this one actually fits pretty well. I gotta trim this little bit down here where I already marked it, but there's my 2 bends that I put into it. So it creates, I have to put a little bit more in the first one. It didn't bend as I wanted it to, but you can kind of see it puts a curved edge to match the curved edge down there. So just a little neat tech tip, I guess. I'm gonna get that fit. I got the Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 feed up. Hoping to see my buddy Doug run. So it just started like an hour ago, but keeping up with it and seeing how everyone's doing down there. So I thought I'd actually show you guys instead of just holding the camera. So I kind of get this flame not real intense. I don't lock this down. I just kind of hold pressure on it. If you go too far, you will hear it starting to crack, but I'm not going too far with it. And then I just run this along it, and I can see the white start to form. And it does make sounds, but I can feel it loosening up on here. So it's kind of a gauge also. I can feel it loosening with the pressure on my hand. And I kind of let it cool off a little bit because it does get warm. It does cool off quick because this is a bunch of metal. So I'm gonna put some heat in this other one here. So that's about it on that. Basically it creates a rounded edge on this side because I bent it twice. I do always check to make sure it's not doing anything crazy with the carbon. So show you guys what it looks like on the other side. So we'll take a walk over here in the light. So you can kind of make sure you guys can see that. So as you can see kind of in the light, you can see the fibers not showing through, but you can see they're imprinting on the epoxy, so, or the resin. So that's kind of, you won't really see it once it's in the car. Just kind of, that's what the heat does to it. So you just have to be mindful of that and don't get too wild with it.